Sorry, class, I'm back. It's just said the page was not available. It happened in my previous class as well, maybe network issues. So, what I was telling you is there was when we came, the Indian government at Mumbai airport, they put a seal on our passport saying repatriate from Kuwait. I can show you my passport tomorrow. I'll show you. What happened is about 9 or 9,500 rupees was the airfare, and we had to that time. I'm talking about 1990, and we had to give it back to the government in when we were going to before we went abroad again, before we used our passport again. But after about 11 months or so, the Indian government in the parliament passed a rule that that brought 3 lakh Indians back free, and the Indian government condoned it. We didn't have to pay even 1 rupee. 1 rupee. I remember since the way we were treated was marvelous. Jai Hind again, and be proud to be an Indian. And all those of you foreigners who are in India, be proud to be in India because I think we are dealing with the coronavirus thing also very well. Okay, I went off at a tangent because, okay, let's go on. The World Bank works with closely with three different organizations. The first one is the IFC, second one is the MIga, Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency. It's like an insurance agency. And the next one is ICSID. It settles disputes between investors and countries. I gave you example. Now, whatever I have taken is from the World Bank website. So I hope my stats are correct. The bank has 189 member countries. They share ownership. I explained to you how the quota, etc., happens. United States has a controlling voting rights. Obviously, they have given the most money. So World Bank today, see from what it was in 1944, 1945, it has changed its um, aims and functions towards more philanthropic and worldwide attention. Initially, well, I remember reading that they started it for helping the European nations, but today all over the world, people and any country, people are getting help. It provides education, health, infrastructure, loans for low interest loans for interest free credit and grants also, low interest loans, interest free loans, and grants as well. It focuses on improving education, health, infrastructure, uses funds to modernize a country's financial structure. That's pretty awesome. And then agriculture and natural resources management. You have the WTO also, so this is also similar. The bank's stated purpose is to bridge the economic divide. I repeat, bridge the economic divide between poor and rich countries. So rich country resources, they turns rich country resources into poor country growth. Awesome. Yeah. Rich country resources, excuse me, rich country resources into poor country growth. And this thing, its long term vision is to achieve sustainable poverty reduction. So it spurs growth. Now especially it's concentrating on Africa. As I told you, the intention was to help reconstruct countries emerging from the war. It still does that, but not necessarily the European countries as it was meant before. Now, there's a David Malpass is the president. In 2019, President Donald Trump, February 6, 2019, President Donald Trump nominated David Malpass to be president of the World Bank. He was previously Under Secretary to the U.S. Treasury Department for International Affairs. Hmm? All right, so you have some little politics there, and I don't think I need to. Statistics and reports and all are there. You can see it yourself. Now come to history. I told you, 1944 Bretton Woods Conference established the World Bank. Its loans helped European countries rebuild after World War II. that made it the world's first multilateral development bank, an international financial organization which supersedes borders. All right. It was funded through the sale of bonds, it says, and its first loan were to France and other European countries. Now, various projects, including rail, also it has supported. Okay. Now, I have given you some little more work on this. Please change this thing. As I told you, the focus of the World Bank was to help reconstruct the economies of war-torn countries. In the 1970s, it worked towards poverty eradication. All right. With this, we will go ahead. I think that's enough about the World Bank. Please look at all the thing me about MIga, what the World Bank does, is all there. You can see it. It's, it identifies projects also, project identification, preparation, evaluation, approval, completion, all this it takes care. With this, I think I'll stop at the World Bank. You will have to write, all of you, use my notes and write a small assignment on the World Bank and the other international regulatory agencies. All right. World Bank and the international regulating agencies, regulating regulators of regulators and supporting institutions of international business. All right. With this, I'll go ahead for modes of entry. Right. Please open my slide. Modes of entry into international business. Open my slide. I hope you're ready. All right. Okay. Yeah, we seem to be facing a few network issues. As Yama said, I hope, Yama, your network problem is solved. What happened is, when I was doing my previous class also, towards the end of the second semester's class, suddenly the page got, I got disconnected. And even now, as I was talking to you, there was some disconnection. All right. Okay, shall we go ahead? Modes of entry into international business. Now, first of all, they need international business. See, international business from its domestic country goes into a new country of operations. When you go into a new country of operations, what do you mean by a new country of operations? For example, when Infosys and Indian business, when it goes to America or the US, what the US becomes the host country. It also is the country of operations. All right. And people in America become host country nationals, HCNs, host country nationals for Infosys. In India, Infosys, India becomes to Infosys the domestic country or the home country, and Indians become home country nationals. Again, it is HCN only. Indians for Infosys become home country nationals when it decides to go to US, and US becomes the home country, host country. Also, it becomes the country of operations. Is that clear? Okay. With this concept clear, we'll go into various modes of entry. You can do exporting, or you can do international licensing, or you can do international franchising. Then there are some specialized modes of entry, and what I have taught you before, the foreign direct investment. All right. Now, the mode of entry, some decision factors are there. They are home country production, that is, you produce in the home country and you export. It could be like that. Host country production in firm owned countries. Host country, for example, For Coca-Cola, which is a US based company, India is the host country because it has established in Bidadi and firm owned facilities. Means Coca-Cola owned factory or facility in host country. All right, that is India. That is the second one. It could be foreign direct investment, as we have seen in the case of Coca-Cola, or a joint venture. If Coca-Cola were to have a joint venture with, say, ABC India, ABC India would be producing Coca-Cola in ABC India owned firms or facility. That is joint venture. But and maybe Coca-Cola also would put a amount. But when Coca-Cola has gone independently and formed a factory, it is foreign direct investment. All right, as this happened in India. Third, next one is host country production performed by others. That is, in the case of McDonald's, etc. They have an IKEA franchising and licensing. Now you may wonder what is franchising and what is licensing. I'll explain. See, why? Why should they want? I have thought. Why should a multinational want to come and establish a factory in India, a firm-owned facility? Why? I have talked to you about Dunning's eclectic, John Dunning. He talked about the eclectic theory. I talked to you before when I talked about the theories of international business. It is ownership advantages, location advantages, and internalization advantages. I talk all that thing like you have transaction costs in house, legal firm charges. You have a lawyer employed maybe instead of going outside and paying a law firm every time. All these kind of things I explained to you before. Now, other factors that a firm considers before going into joint venture or FDI or any other form is this: the need for control. All right, the need for controlling your the need for controlling your facility yourself. All right, or the need for need for controlling other things like you don't when you have a legal firm who gives you ideas or how to do, you have to go by it, abide by it up to a certain point. But when you have your own lawyer, you can influence your lawyer to work how you want it. So need for control. Second, availability of resources. If you look at Coca-Cola, a lot of water is available in Bangalore. So here we have, in this Karnataka is a place where you can get a lot of water availability. So Coca-Cola must have chosen Karnataka, but it has also chosen Rajasthan as another factory place. Imagine. And yes, there is also something about ethics there. It says in 1 year the groundwater level fell 19 feet in Rajasthan. Dera in Rajasthan. Look into it online. Okay, then the third is the firm's global strategy. See, as I told you, the firm's global strategy is also very necessary. As I told you, how Honda went into America, it made its own factory. All right. Why? Because when it sells a lot of cars in America, the American government may put some protectionist laws. So if you manufacture the cars in America, it will be indigenous production. But when you manufacture the cars in Japan, in any condition, maybe CKD, completely knocked down condition, or the entire car was to be brought to America, then protectionist laws makes the car more expensive and not competitive along with the American cars. So the global strategy could be, as I said, Honda has manufacturing facilities in five different countries in Europe. In five different countries, it manufactures parts and assembles in the fifth country. So it could be the global policy that we will not manufacture indigenously. We'll manufacture the car indigenously in the country of operations in the host country. So, or others maybe will manufacture here only in my country and will export. It could be like, see, Indians saris, say the Ilkal beautiful saris of Karnataka. The Ilkal saris cannot be manufactured in the Gulf and sold there. So you have to go into exporting. You understand? So these are the examples why this one. And Coca-Cola, no, you cannot. It makes no sense bringing that carbonated water from the US, isn't it? Cars, Toyota cars have to be manufactured in India. All right, you can, all the transportation costs of bringing the cars and all is not easy, isn't it? But if you see Japan, when it goes to Australia and New Zealand, the cars are not manufactured in Australia and New Zealand. Check this. I may not be 100% right, but I think I am. What Japanese cars, how they take them is they go via Singapore. Okay, so the ships never go empty. What cars go from Japan to Singapore via Singapore to may not be via Singapore when they go to Australia or New Zealand. When they come back, the ships get filled up, and also they get filled up in Singapore to Japan with goods that Japan wants. So the ships don't go empty. It makes sense to take the cars and ships, etc. Now, ownership advantages. I like, for example, you look at the thing embedded technology, like the superior manufacturing techniques of Toyota. You cannot transfer them through a licensed mode, isn't it? Location advantages are like this: relative wage rates. Why Kia has come to India? Why Kia Motors went to Slovakia and not Germany? Slovakia is still in the European Union. You get all the benefits of European Union, but plus you get the lower wage rates of Slovakia when compared to Germany wage rates. You see, so Kia has come to India. Okay, Indians are a huge market, and with the purchasing power capacity for the Kia cars, also mainly because we are a automotive manufacturing hub now. So you get related and supporting industries also in Tamil Nadu because first they went there. Also, if you look at the other thing is relative wage rates. All right, land acquisition costs are Anantapur in Andhra Pradesh. Yeah, there is lot of land available. Land is not very expensive compared to other states. Not all of it. I mean, the village kind of atmosphere. Access to R&D facilities, logistical requirements. You can sell because we have a very good network in India. That's why anywhere manufacturing anywhere in India will give you access to relatively cheap railroad facilities. Then additional administrative costs. See, needs of customers. We have Indian customers who require the Kia cars, etc., etc. Okay. Internalization advantages I have talked to you already about. Then transaction cost, etc. Okay. You just look at my this thing. Now, what is exporting? The first form or the first mode of entry is exporting. What is exporting? There are three types of exporting. Go to the next slide. Wait, before that, why exporting is there? I have been explaining again and again. You just look at the forms of exporting. Next slide. You have, first of all, direct exporting. Manufacture illegal saris in India, take a consignment to Dubai, sell them there. Simple. Okay. The next form is indirect exporting. Um, See, you stay in Bangalore, you have it manufactured in somewhere in North Karnataka, wherever illegal saris are manufactured. Different types are manufactured in more than one places. Then you are the firm in Bangalore, they manufacture, you bring them here, and you export. Simple. The first form is you only go and have it manufactured and export. Okay, second one is somebody manufactures for you, you buy and export. This is indirect exporting. Then third one is intra corporate exporting, where you have affiliated firm, say a Dubai based company has a manufacturing facility in India. Means it's a subsidiary for manufacturing. So you manufacture and you sell intra corporate transfers. All right. It could be FDIs, anything. Manufacturing could be FDI based, but it's a intra corporate. There's no two different identities, selling and manufacturing, the same identity. So with this, we go into other considerations for exporting. Sometimes government policies. See, in the Gulf, that in Kuwait, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, Qatar, etc. You cannot own an Indian, for example, cannot own a business independently. You always have to have another partner, local partner. If you are having a business in Kuwait, local Kuwaiti has to be part of your business. Otherwise, you cannot get a license. All right, this is the way. And in Namibia also, I think the same thing. There are countries who openly tell you that you have to have the rules are there. There are also countries who will not tell you, but silently, if you do not have a local partner, there is a lot of difficulty you face. You remember I told you about the um, lobster soup that was exported by an American to Japan, and how he had trouble. Okay, I'll explain to you this one. There was an American who had gone to a party in the US, and he found that the Japanese who were attending the party were extremely fond of a particular brand of lobster soup. So he says if Japanese in America like the lobster soup, the Japanese in Japan will also like the lobster soup. So why don't I export some lobster soup to America? Angere, angere. That's my dog. Bikkuvitai. Sorry. If you heard some sound, that was him lapping the water. My baby. Okay. So I was telling you, an American found that in a American party, some Japanese were extremely enjoying a particular brand of lobster soup that was served in the party. So his idea was, if Americans in America, Japanese in America like this soup, why don't the Japanese in Japan would also like the soup? So he took 1,000 cans of soup and took them to Japan. But the customs threw it out. They said this lobster soup contains one, what do you call it? Something to that to keep it preservative. Sorry, I missed the word. So the Japanese customs told the American that the soup contained, let's call it preservative A, which is not allowed in Japan. Preservative A was not allowed in Japan to be used in their food items. So this man went back, American went back, met the lobster soup company manufacturer, and told him that problem. And they devised that they found out which food preservative, is allowed in Japan, and they added that food preservative. And again, 1,000 cans were brought by the American to be taken into Japan as a trial. What happened? The Japanese customs told him that they found traces of the original preservative A, and the soup was not up to the mark to be taken into Japan. So this man collected some of the cans, went back into America, and he gave the soup cans to the laboratory, and the laboratories clearly told him there was absolutely no trace of the preservative A, the previous preservative, in the cans of soup. At the same time, the American discovered that a Japanese person had taken the same cans, original cans of soup with preservative A into Japan for the purpose of business. So then he realized that if you do not have a local partner, it becomes difficult to do business in that country. It is not the case of Japan, it can be the case of many others. As a foreigner, you are treated as them and us. How to make it we? The communication between this is as a strategy culture fit that we are trying to see through communication in the language spoken by the local people. Otherwise, they are them and us. The MNC is them and we are us. How to make them and us as we is the challenge that you have to face. So, additional consideration for exportation is, I told you, government policies, marketing concerns, yeah, logistical considerations, and distribution issues. See, distribution network is very necessary. All right. Suppose you're coming in with a kind of jam and you're joining with an existing jam or pickle manufacturer who already has a distribution network. It becomes simple to go piggyback on the local person's distribution network. All right, as versus manufacturing and distributing yourself. So all these are marketing concerns. Then logistics consider, transporting of the goods from your country to the other country and selling will definitely make it expensive, and there will be some octroi duty, some all kinds of import duties, etc., which may not make that particular goods competitive with the others. All right, this is the yeah. All right. Now, export government policies are export promotion policies, etc. Class, I think since I'm taking class every day and I want to do it with the see, I don't want to rush into this thing. Whatever I have said, give a consideration and this thing. This government policies and all, if I rush, I will not be able to explain with examples. I think our class is enough for today. I will stop here. Too heavy also is not nice. Class, all of you, stay safe, stay healthy. Proud to be an Indian because India is doing a great job. Look at everybody out to help each other. How full of it's a heart. Your heart gets fill, and you feel very touched when you see people reaching out to help. I have a resident welfare association where I live, so people are telling if you want food, if you want groceries, you want anything, contact this person, contact. It's really helpful. I was really worried about where I can get my tomatoes and the onions. Well, I have a fridge full of tomatoes and a basket full of onions. Yeah, and the vegetable also is available. Hopcoms is delivering home to home, apartments wise. Hopcoms is working. The government has done a fantastic job about logistics of food. We must appreciate. See, whenever I have taught you, whenever some initiative is taken, the top management commitment is very important. And you have the top management, that is the government commitment to people. No, it's really fantastic. The everybody is being taken care of. Even those migrant laborers are being given food, shelter, etc., etc., which is a fantastic thing. So I'm really proud to be an Indian, and we Indians are, we should, and all of you foreigners who are my students, stay safe. All of you, all Indians, everybody, stay safe. So be happy, don't be restless, smile, okay? And I have to say, Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. Bye, class. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll start with the juniors class and then I'll come to seniors class. Again, Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka. See you tomorrow. Bye.